So as always, the 5th episode never disappoints in the Power World, and we are going straight into episode 6 next week. But this had everything a mid-season finale normally has. There was death, character development, and some twists. But it was really good to see everybody coming together and working as one to try and take down the Serbs. We had Tommy, Diamond, Vic, and even Jenard came in on the plan, because he was looking at the bigger picture in terms of the 1% extra that was in the favour of the CBI. But attacking the Serbs was always going to be a risky move, because Mirkovic's entrance showed that he wasn't playing any games, so he wasn't going to be easy to take out. And once he got his hands on Lilliana, he had the upper hand on Tommy in that moment. But it is definitely not over with the Serbs, and I do think rather than working against Mirkovic, Tommy may somehow work with them. So in this video, we're going to break down a few different perspectives when it comes to Tommy and the Serbs, and look at how this could all be pointing in the direction of a Power Book 2 Ghost crossover and connection. But we're also going to have a look at Tommy's relationship with Lilliana, as well as Jenard's jealousy, and look at a different perspective to the move that he made at the end of the episode where he fired and hit Lilliana, because Power Book 4 Force have proven to throw us off since the beginning of the season. So let's start with a few curveballs that Force have thrown at us since the very first episode, and one was how they made it seem like we would hate Vic Flynn, and how we would have this constant battle with Tommy with business and love. But in fact, after the first 5, Vic is definitely one of the MVPs, because we all saw how he was willing to put the beef between the CBI to one side, as well as Tommy and Gloria's relationship, so they could all work together. And he carried on again when we saw him telling Diamond he was willing to take a cut on his side of the deal, as well as dealing with Simon's death, whereas we really can't say the same about Jenard and Elijah's death. And we even saw him saving one of the CBI boys. So I do believe Vic has stepped up, and he is one of the fan favourites in my opinion. And the same could be said about Lilliana, who is also another curveball, because she's gone from someone who Tommy was trying to kill to now someone who he's not willing to let go of that easily. First when Tatiana showed up, and now with Mirkovic. Although I don't see the connection between Tommy and Lilliana being one of romance, because she did mention that Tommy wasn't her type, and Tommy said the same. And also because I do think her romance may end up being with Jenard in the end. But I feel this connection runs deep with Tommy because she's the only person left in Tommy's life that somewhat gives him this connection to New York as well as Ghost, because Ghost was the one who spared Lilliana's life when Tommy wanted to ice her in the first 2 episodes of Power. And it is kind of ironic that the person who Ghost spared is now someone who's Tommy's sidekick, and basically a kind of ride or die partner, because she really does live by the street and die by the street, just like Tommy.
We chose it. We gotta play by its rules.
She also mentioned that she's got no connections or ties to any family, and the game is the only thing she's ever known. And Tommy said it himself when he was talking about Diamond. Never bet against someone who's got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And as we learn more about Lilliana and who she is, the same could be said about her. She's got nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I really don't think anybody can now question her loyalty to Tommy after this first half of the season. And now she's someone who I really think can be by Tommy's side for a very long time to come. And Tommy definitely needed someone like this, someone who's loyal, just like Julio. But sticking with Lilliana, let's talk about how Jenard came and unleashed a hell of a lot of gunfire in the direction of the Serbs, Tommy, and Lilliana, and even catching her, but luckily the bullet went straight through. Now, one perspective is we can look at this as Jenard seeking revenge on Tommy, because he blames Tommy for Elijah's death, and this hurt him for a few different reasons. Now, Elijah was someone who was Jenard's voice of reason. He was his go-to guy well before Diamond came over and took over the CBI again, but more so since Diamond cut Jenard out of the decision making. And as the trailer for episode 6 has shown us, Jenard will have no choice but to start using people like D-Mac and Marshall. And even though D-Mac is loyal to Jenard, the dynamics will completely shift once he finds out that Tommy is actually his uncle. And then we're going to see D-Mac going from being loyal to Jenard to then being loyal to Tommy, because the clue really is in D-Mac's character description. But we all know how much Jenard wants Tommy dead from episode 4 after this.
Now that nigga Tommy gonna wind up dead one way or another. I'll give you 10 times this if you the one that pull the trigger.
That ain't never gonna happen.
But let's have a look at a different perspective from Jay Johnson, who said, I feel Jenard's move at the end was an attempt to help Lilliana because he knew that Tommy didn't have Diamond or Vic to back him. So just to expand on this point, Diamond and Vic came to do a job, and they were done. And I do think Jenard would have been done as well if it wasn't for Lilliana being in trouble, because we all saw the moment Jenard and Lilliana had in episode 4. And he definitely has a thing for her, so we can definitely look at it in the perspective that he was coming to save Lilliana. But having said that, I do stick by my original opinion, and I do believe it was a very wild and crazy move from Jenard, regardless of what his intentions were, because if his true intentions were really to save Lilliana, him spraying bullets everywhere wasn't exactly the best move, because he could have very well killed her if it wasn't for the bullet going straight through. And we have to say, Lilliana is someone who's had so many near-death experiences. She's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with over these next few seasons on Power Book 4 Force. But moving away from Lilliana, can Tommy work with the Serbs now that he hasn't killed Mirkovic? Because he did in essence save them when he told them and Lilliana to get down after he saw the drive-by coming from behind them. Now just to rewind it back to episode 4, the reason why Tommy wanted to kill Mirkovic and the Serbs was to take their pipeline and territory, because they control a large part of the west side. But as we've all learned one thing from the Serbs, even if you cut the head of the leader off, the organization doesn't die with them. We've seen this in the case with Milan, Jason Mičić, and now we have Mirkovic here, and I do think he's going to be around at least into season 2. But does he even reside in Chicago? Now Tatiana told us that he's actually from New York when she said this.
What if New York... What if my boss, Mirkovic, were to hear that Tommy Egan is in Chicago?
And earlier on in episode 4, we had Diamond telling Tommy that Mirkovic only comes down when shit is all the way fucked up, which it was because of his product being stolen by Lilliana, Tatiana being killed, as well as the Serbs. So, connecting this back to Power Book 2 Ghost, what if Mirkovic is actually from New York? Could he then be the connect for Tariq and the Tejadas? And is this how they're going to do the crossover from Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Book 4 Force? Because we have to remember, they are definitely set in the same timeline. And there is a reason why we saw Detective Howard looking into the Serbs in episode 10. And with Tommy, Diamond and Vic not fully killing the Serbs completely, but also with Tommy saving them from Jenard's drive-by, they may well be setting it up for Tommy and the Serbs to work together. So I really do think this could tie into Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3 into the second season of Power Book 4 Force. And let's not forget, there is definitely a vacant power vacuum that still needs filling in New York, because Mecha was supposed to be that guy. But after they killed him and turned him into the goat of global snitching, this storyline is left so wide open, you can go in so many different directions and ways. And the crossover with the Serbs starts to make sense more and more as each episode ticks by. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know how you think they could potentially cross over the Power Worlds, as well as bringing characters like 2-Bit, Roberto and Cristobal back. And let me know what you think about Tommy's relationship with Lilliana, because I'm sure some will disagree and maybe even see Tommy having some romance with Lilliana instead. So drop all your thoughts down below on all things Tommy, Lilliana and Jenard. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 4 Force and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you next time.